way to go get them axles. Dana 60 front, Dana 80 rear for the XJ build. So anyways, a little bit of a drive, but not very far away. Get these things picked up and thrown on the trailer and hauled back home. Rear 80 loaded up. Well, I got the axles home. This is a Dana 80 Dodge axle. Actually, it was in a sled pulling pickup. Had to cut some brackets off. I'll have to do a little welding. There's a few spots that I got into the axle tube a little bit. Nothing to worry about though. So I'll go ahead and I'll probably flap wheel these nice and clean so they're ready to weld some brackets on. This one goes in the rear, obviously. The front one's outside. I cut all the Dodge bracketry off and I ordered an Artec truss, which this is the Dana 30, 35, whatever. The Artec truss will have all the brackets and everything on it for the Dana 60. It's actually for a Ford, but I'm gonna modify it however I can to go on the Dodge. So I guess we'll see what happens. It might be a nightmare, but I doubt it. Anything can be fabricated when it's steel, and you got a torch and a welder. They'll be fine. So anyways, that's that so far. All right, I spent some time, cut all the mounts off the Dodge coilover setup, so that's all gone. So now I'm just waiting on an Artec truss, get this thing flipped over, roll it underneath here, and figure out where everything needs to go and mock it up, and hopefully after that we'll have an axle mounted. Then we'll go on to the rear. Just for shits and giggles, I went ahead and used some jacks. The cherry picker, got it halfway under and then put it on jacks, and I'm just gonna get this axle kind of where it needs to be and on jack stands. All right, I got this axle just set on some jack stands. Not really close to ride height or nothing. Actually, the axle will be lower, which in a sense brings body up, obviously. But anyways, I gotta order a adjustable track arm, so I gotta get that coming so I can get rid of this old factory mount, go to an adjustable style track bar that's a little stronger. I am working on getting this back axle out, so I'll get this thing on stands all the way around and get this back axle dropped out so I can lay that one underneath and kind of start mocking it up. All right, I spent a little time cleaning up this differential, wire wheeling, cleaning all the rust and scaling off. So it's basically ready for the truss. Now the truss will have to be modified because it is not set up for the center axle disconnect. And the pumpkin shape's just a little different on the Ford Dana 60. So I might have to do some modifications, but when it gets here, it should show up anytime. We'll fit it up and see how it sits. All right, UPS showed up, dropped off the Artec truss. So I have that. Just kind of laying it out here. I'll show you what I'm gonna have to do here. And actually on this leaf spring perch, I gotta do a little modification there as well on the Artec truss. Well, got some progress done. I got this truss all welded up. You can see the center axle disconnect just had to notch a little bit. Got to weld some of this stuff to the cast, but I just made reinforcement brackets to hold it up. Got it all tied in really good. A little bit of work left on getting this thing done, but got the arms in and everything. So anyways, I'll be back on the rear here soon and hopefully get tires and wheels put on this thing, and I'll let you guys see it. Well, I had Highline Custom Metal build me some spring purchase. I got some U-bolts and some top plates. So I got my rear Dana 80 set underneath the Cherokee. I gotta figure out pinion angle. Before I can do that, I need to actually put weight on the rear axle, see what the leafs do, and then I can loosen up the bolts, I can adjust my pinion versus my transfer case output. And then I'm also, which should be showing up today, coilovers. I need to put them in the front so then I can get the front end set on its own weight as well. That'll make it easier for setting up driveline angle. I can set my caster in the front. I got quite a bit of caster going on here. I don't know if you can tell. But anyways, I want to get caster set and then I'll get driveline set up. All right, my coils came from Skyjacker. So I dropped my axle all the way down, slipped them things in the top, dropped them on the bottom. So now my coils are in the front. So now I'm gonna go get my tires mounted and then I can get this thing setting so I can measure for drive lines and I can get ready to start building the track bar. Oh yeah, disc brakes on the rear, all assembled. Well, I got a little ahead, but I went ahead and got these tires and wheels mounted. I slipped the coilovers in. I got the axle lifted up, put the tires and wheels on. I was doing brakes, realized I got the wrong calipers, so I need 1 ton calipers instead of 3/4 ton. And I got the rear tires on as well, but I do have to shift the axle about a 1/2 inch one way and clock my pinion angle once I get my drive lines made. Then I'll weld the perches up. But this thing's looking like a bad rig. Oh, I do have leaves coming to pick the back end up about 3 inches. But man, this thing's gonna be fun. Rock slider time! Alright, probably can't hear me very good. I got a respirator on, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut the bottom of this. Cut this line to get a little more tire clearance so I can start building some rock sliders. Alright, I went ahead and cut all the way along. Over here. Now I just gotta go underneath and cut everything at that peak seam. Alright, went ahead and I got just a few welds on here. I'll have to finish them later, but anyways, my welder's almost out of gas, so I want to get the other side at least welded this far, get some gas. But you can see it's just resting up underneath. I plated both ends, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the other side open and get it mounted up. All right, I did get this side all set in place. Again, just a few welds. Running low on gas, I just wanted to get to this point on this side. I did throw a little paint on the ends just in case I drove it in the meantime. But I should be getting more welding gas tomorrow, so I'll finish weld the top and the bottom. Bottom has a few welds. Nothing crazy, but I mean, I can jack it up and it picks the whole side up without bending nothing. So that's good. But yeah, anyways, the other side is done as well at that point. A few welds holding it up. I think it turned out really good. Thanks for watching. If you guys want to see more of this build and then it playing out in the snow, like and follow, and we'll see what we can do. Thanks.